Hi guys, Thierry here, now known as Thierry Rocks, doing another album review. And today, just as I promised, we are taking a look at the third Breaking Benjamin album, Phobia. So yeah, I'm finally talking about more of the band's material. I remember reviewing Saturate back in 2020. That was the album review that really started my love for doing these kinds of videos. I mean, before then I did some Metallica album reviews, but that was the one that really started my big interest in it. And then I did We Are Not Alone in June of last year. So yeah, 12 months later, we're finally continuing with this band. So yeah, Phobia. This is the album that many fans consider to be their best or their most iconic. And what are my opinions on it? Well, you're going to learn by the end of this video, obviously. But yeah, it has some of their biggest hits. It's definitely the one that like rocketed the band to stardom, and really shifted their sound. But yeah, from kind of a more laid back, kind of like slightly new metal, post grunge kind of sound to a more moodier, angstier kind of feel. So yeah, this album, it was released in August of 2006, and just to go on, like, this isn't related to the band, but 2006 was one of the best years of my childhood. So many fond memories of just like going on holiday, like the animated movies that came out, just all kinds of things. 2006 was great. But yeah, so Phobia is definitely one of the most iconic releases of 2006, right next to 1X by 3 Days Grace, which I want to review some 3 Days Grace albums someday, so if anybody is interested in that, let me know. But yeah, going back to this one, this is considered to be the band's most like iconic work, and I'm gonna give my views on it at the very end. I'm not gonna tell you like just right now because I'm gonna go through the track lists, but first we're gonna go through. I usually talk about the album cover and what it means and everything, but I'm not gonna do that just yet. I'm gonna get to that later. So yeah, the album cover, it's kind of hard to see because it's like very dark. It's like green, kind of green brown. You've got this angel, but it's funny because I used to think that this like he was headless, but it turns out that his head is just like down below, and that's just the crown of his head. And the angel is rising above some kind of wasteland. I don't know. It looks very dark and grainy, and the back of it is. It looks to be like some kind of like old like symbol of some kind. We're going to look at the rest of the CD before the track list. The CD is actually very plain looking. It's just grey with, you can see the band's logo. This is when the Breaking Benjamin icon logo, whatever you want to call it, insignia, like changed design. But yeah, it's just like lightly in orange. It's like a burst. And you've got a picture of a tree. The actual manual inside of it has pictures of like an old mansion of some kind. It's a bit like the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland or whatever. It's very creepy and old. Some photos of the band, and yeah, and also the place where the disc is put there is you can see the band are standing inside of like an empty swimming pool without the water in it, so that's really cool. But yeah, so before I get into the track listing, I just want to mention as well, the reason that this album is considered their best and most important is that this is the album that really got them noticed. Like, Saturate kind of went under the radar in 2002. I don't remember back then, but it just seems to be. We're Not Alone had So Cold, and it had like Firefly and a few video game soundtracks and stuff. It was decently big. But Phobia in 2006 is really where they found their stride and they found their sound. And one, before I get into the track list too, I am also going to review Dear Agony at some point this month, because the album is really important to me and I have to talk about it. I've been really excited to. And I might review Dark Before Dawn and Ember as well someday, but that'll be much later on. But anyways, so let's go into the track list. Track number 1 is Intro. Now, Intro is, well, just what it says on the tin. It's a minute long or so instrumental track of, it starts off and there's a door slamming, and then you hear the sound of a plane taking off, and you hear a lady's voice on an intercom, and some like light guitar work, like it really is like atmospheric, and you're not really sure what you're listening to. But then it occurs. This is what the album is about. So the title, Phobia, is, and also the album has the angel on a runway. Then it occurs that the album is a reference to Benjamin Burnley's, the singer's, fear of flying. And that is one of the most important things about the band, because they haven't toured much outside of the United States because Ben just hates flying on planes and stuff. So it's really interesting that he took the album in that direction, this more serious direction. And Phobia was also a reference to how there was an old interview I saw on YouTube where he says it was kind of his anxieties of like the next release, whether it was going to be good or not. So yeah, it really puts it into perspective. And before I get to the next big track, I'll just mention this is also the first one that has an intro and an outro track. Their later albums would also do something similar too. So it's cool to see that. But anyways, so that's very short. Then track number 2, The Diary of Jane. What do I even need to say about this song? It rocketed them to stardom. It's hands down their most famous track. It's their signature track. So, you know, like Metallica has Enter Sandman, The Killers has Mr. Brightside, Gorillaz has Feel Good Inc., Guns N' Roses has like Welcome to the Jungle. Breaking Benjamin has Diary of Jane. You know, the iconic riffs. And the verses just like, if I had to, I would put myself right beside you. I mean, I could sing the entire song, but you get what I mean. Something's getting in the way, something's just about to break. Yep, this song is iconic. The music video has them inside of the old house, mansion, whatever it is, that is in the manual that you can see. But yeah, and Diary of Jane, the song is about, I wondered who the heck is Jane? Is that like an ex-girlfriend or something? It's apparently a reference to Jane Doe, which is like, I believe is like the name that they give to like female criminals, is like an anonymous name, and they obviously give male criminals John Doe, so I think it could mean really any kind of woman really, but it's about trying to do everything you can to please a person and they don't accept it, you know. But yeah, however, I will say this song is a little bit overplayed. It's kind of overrated. It kind of like, when I mention it to people, oh, do you like Breaking Benjamin? They're like, oh, I know Diary of Jane, and they don't really know anything else. They might know I Will Not Bow, which isn't on this one. It's on Dear Agony, but yeah. Yeah, but it's still a great song. It's iconic. And it always makes me think of like anime AMVs. I'll say the entire album is like that actually. And before I move on to the next song, I'll say that this album definitely has the vibe of, it's not emo music, but it's definitely, well, I mean it is because it's emotional, but even though it's like, this one takes a hard rock approach compared to the first two albums, I guess. It's like hard rock, alternative metal. It's less post-grunge than the first two, but it's definitely the kind of music that, like, they're not an emo band, but emos back in the day would have listened to this. So yeah, and yeah, but the Diary of Jane is iconic. What else can I say? Next track is Breathe, Breath, sorry. You take the breath right out of me. You left a hole where I could not see. I think that's it, but anyway. But yeah, this is another iconic song. I will say this album, compared to the first two, well, definitely Saturate. The production is a lot more digitally mastered on this one compared to the first two. I thought Saturate was really raw. The instruments are very raw and stuff like that. We're Not Alone then has kind of a thin kind of production style. The guitar tone isn't quite as heavy. This one is like, it's very digitally made. And you can definitely tell like Ben's voice is a tiny bit more auto-tune. Not as bad, not as excessive as they would get later on, but it still is like that. But anyway, yeah. Breath. This is like one of their most like famous songs. This is one of the first songs that I heard from them, definitely. And I love like the lyrics, like it'll be all over soon. Pour the salt into the open wound. Is it over yet? In my head. Yeah, this is definitely where you know, Ben's voice is definitely like the forefront. I mean, the first two albums were as well, but they were kind of like I feel like all the members of the bands kind of had a bit of songwriting. This is when it's like Ben's time to shine, truly. Breath is iconic. There's a lot of like different time signatures with the drumming as well. But yeah, it's a great song. It's very iconic. Now the next song is simply just called You. It's not as well known, this song. I actually think it's very underrated. It's very atmospheric kind of song. I really love the intro when he says like, um, broken and time is moving on and on forever. And when he says like time, it's like this cymbal clashes and the drums kick in. I really like that. And then there's another trend on this album is that the choruses to these songs are very like light and melodic. The choruses are very like they're there to make the crowd sing to them. So promise me you'll try to leave it all behind. And the guitars are very light in these choruses, but they're still powerful. And then I love the bit where he just goes yo. And I'm not really sure what this song's about, but some of the lyrics are like, letting your daughter down and like to be forgotten and stuff like that. And like, I can see the bottom and stuff. I don't, it's, I guess you can really interpret them as anything, but maybe like family issues or something, maybe it was written about somebody. I'm not totally sure, but this song is a more atmospheric kind of one, I'd say. Next song is Evil Angel, another famous song by them. One of the definitely one of the AMV, anime music video songs that was used a lot back in the day, early 2010s days. Yeah, I really miss them times, they were fun. But anyway, yeah, Evil Angel starts off very heavy. I love the mix of dual guitars, I'm going to call them. So there's like rhythm guitar and lead guitar. So you have like the high pitched guitar, like, and then the verses are very like mellow. I am the answer, spreading the cancer. And like crooked wings and stuff, and then the chorus is put me to sleep, evil angel, very powerful, and it kicks in. And yeah, here's another trend on the album I noticed is that a lot of the songs, they're very fantasy inspired. The songs will be kind of like about fantastical concepts and stuff like that. I mean, they're also angsty and personal, but they'll write them about all kinds of things. So we have Evil Angel, and then we're gonna get to the next track after this one, or a bit after. But yeah, put me to sleep, evil angel. A lot of imagery like plays in my mind when I hear this one in particular. But yeah, this is a super famous one. There's a bit of a guitar solo as well. I mean, it's not like it's like, I don't know, Van Halen or Dragon Force level of like guitar solos, but they're very nice and light ones. I know they started this with So Cold on the previous album when they were doing solos. But yeah, they're short and sweet, but still very good. Yeah, this is a great song, Evil Angel. It's iconic. The next song, Until the End. Here's another trend. The songs will start very heavy, and then the verses and choruses will be very melodic. So it starts off with, and then the, yeah, and then the I like the verses where they're kind of, I don't know what you would call that, but it's kind of like marching, kind of like rhythm, I think I would call that. And then the verses are very light, and then the chorus, why give up, why give in, I will go on until the end. Yeah, this song is it's very hopeful sounding, like, no matter what happens, You're going to keep living, you're going to keep marching till the very end. And that is something that's just very, as much as these guys get called, especially on this album, you know, angsty and dark and emo or whatever, these songs are very hopeful. They're very like, they lift up the spirits. It's like Triumph of the Human Spirit kind of song. And then the other bit of the song I like is when like the guitars change into like the do 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 do. I like that bit. It's good. But yeah, this is a great song. And also I believe it was a single according to Wikipedia. I mean Breath was a single as well. I don't know if it had a music video. I probably should have researched it first, but yeah, I know Until the End was definitely a single. But yeah, moving on, we're at track number 7 now, so we're actually on the I guess you would call it the B side or something. But yeah, Dance with the Devil. So like I said, you had Evil Angel, now you've got Dance with the Devil. Another iconic song of theirs. This is my second favorite song on the album. And it's one of my favorite songs by the band in general. So yeah, Dance with the Devil. It starts off, here I stand, helpless and left for dead. And then it gets back to the verses are very light and stuff. This song is just hella emotional. I have teared up to this song once or twice. I'd say it's the only song on the album that makes me feel that way. The album as a whole, like, it's serious and more angstier, but it's definitely not sad. But this song, it just has the emotions and rhythms to it, like, I believe in you, I can see you right through. Yeah. And yeah, you can kind of see the songwriting, like, things, you know, like Empty Eyes and stuff like that, and, you know, This World So Wrong, and then the chorus, say goodbye as we dance with the devil tonight. I think that's literally what the song is about. I think it's like visions of, like, demonic visions and stuff like that. There might be some, like, metaphors and things like that for, like, controlling relationships, well, I'm not exactly sure, but I think it literally is about, like, being face to face with, like, a literal devil, demon, and how terrifying that would be. I love the bits where it goes, hold on, and then Ben absolutely belts it, hold on, with that nice little like guitar solo. This song is just so beautiful, just so full of emotions, it's powerful. I can see why this is a staple track, and it's so famous. Dance with the Devil, it's amazing. I definitely say it's another AMV track as well. Just that vibe it has. Yeah, I bloody love this song. Next song is probably the one on the album that people talk about the least. Topless. Now, I think according to the lore, I forgot to mention as well, I think this is when some like lineup changes in the band happened. I'm not exactly sure. I know Aaron Fink was still in the band at this point, but I'm not sure about the drummer and the bassist. I really should have looked it up. But yeah, I think this is when a slight lineup changed before something really big happened a few years later, which we'll get to that in a future review. But anyways, Topless, I'm pretty sure that this song was an outtake from like the Saturate era, that I don't know why, but they like waited for it to release on the third album for some reason. But yeah, Topless, it has a much heavier vibe. I would say it's like borderline new metal riffs. You know, like it's it definitely like sticks out compared to the other songs, because I would say Phobia is not a very headbanger album. It's not like a mosh pit album. It's definitely more of like a, you focus on the melodies and the rhythms and the voice, the singing, compared to like how headbangable. Anyway, but yeah, this song is definitely different. You can tell that it was written in the Phobia days. And what can I say about this song? It's about a sexual relationship, or you know, or an ex or something like that. You know, it's like, I'm on my knees, fuck you, fuck me. So yeah, that's definitely why this got the parental advisory logo, and like, I love your face, just get away. So it's kind of those lyrics where it's like contradicts itself, you know. You say one thing, then you say the other. But yeah, this is a great song, and like, I love how Ben at the end of the song like screams like, May! You know, I love that one. But yeah, this is definitely one of the heaviest songs on the album. I don't think they really play it live and stuff anymore, so that's kind of a shame. But yeah, Topless is pretty interesting. And it's just interesting how like they took a song from, their Saturate era and decided to record it for this. Well, what I mean is that like it was written around that time and then was put on this. But anyway, okay, next song. Well, these next two songs are some of my favorite songs on the album. So we have Here We Are. We start off with those very sort of atmospheric guitars, like say it for me. Yeah, this is definitely one of the lighter songs. I can't erase the stupid things I said. Yeah, this is like a song that would make me think in a movie where like the main characters are kind of at like turmoil point in the story and they need to apologize to each other, and then the chorus is just really powerful. So here we are fighting and trying to hide the scars. I'll be home tonight. Take a breath and softly say goodbye. I just love that though. This song is just beautiful. It's one of the ones I listen to the most off of this album. But yeah. And then you move on to like the middle section of it. Goodbye. And then, so why are you so easy to betray? Pick the pieces up. Pick the pieces up. And then there's like a little like short guitar solo. And then we get back into it again. Also, this album, like the singer Ben, he does a lot of like oh, does those kind of things. Like became kind of a staple in their music. So yeah, but Here We Are. It's a really beautiful track. Next song, song number 10, track 10, Unknown Soldier. My favorite song off the album. I love it. It starts off with the sound of helicopters and then just kicks into those. It's like the dual guitar kind of work. It definitely reminds me of like the end of Heartache by Killswitch Engage, the metalcore band. I need to get into them a little bit more, but yeah, they're a great band as well. But yeah, the lyrics, they just absolutely just paint a picture of being like a troop on the front line, borderline dead inside. I don't mind like falling to pieces and like dislocate. Yeah, it just makes you literally think of like being a troop. And I think the title Unknown Soldier is like a reference to like, I think there's like a statue which is known as the Unknown Soldier. It's also the fact it's like the troops in any kind of wars really, they were just like people like you and I, but they're being forced in this situation in unimaginable horrors on the front line, and like they have to shoot people to death and they're in fears of dying. It's a really terrifying thing. It's just the fact that once they die, they're just a number, or something. But yeah, that's what I think of it. But the chorus is absolutely beautiful. Show me what it's like to dream in black and white, and I can leave this world tonight. And it always confused me because some of the choruses say tonight, but some of them say leave this world behind, which always makes it hard for me to sing to it. That's really my only complaint. And then the middle of the song goes into this absolutely beautiful, where it's like I don't know what you would call that, but it's like falsetto kind of thing, or something like that, a cappella. But then the lyrics is like, it only hurts just once, hide the hate inside, they're only broken bones. It's kind of like, makes you think of the situation. And then Ben screams again, oh, and then like the guitar kicks in. When I listen to that song, I just imagine the troop just going absolutely crazy, just like shooting like enemy soldiers or something. It definitely paints a picture in your mind, and I think the dream in black and white and like breathe the breath of life, those kind of make me think of like old photographs from like the First and Second World War, which I think is like when the song is based upon, but I don't know. But anyway, I love this song. It's amazing. Next song, Had Enough. I love the rhythm guitar there. But yeah, Had Enough is definitely about a person that you're just sick of. You think you've had it all, well have you had enough? You greedy little bastard, you will get what you deserve. I just love that because it's like so full of like resentment, that lyric. You greedy little bastard. I love that. But yeah, I'll turn this whole world down. There's loads of lyrics that I like off this one, and then I've lost my way. I love that bit as well, like in the middle section. I think it's like I will break you and stuff. But yeah, this song's really good as well. Very beautiful. And we're getting to the end now, guys. Track number 12 is You Fight Me, which always like confused me that like the song's called You, and then this song is called You Fight Me. Like, I just found that so funny with the song titles, how similar they are. But yeah, this song is the most unique on the album. It's not like any of the others. There's a very loud bass line on it. And it actually has piano in the background. And yeah, it makes it sound kind of like elevator music. I don't know what it is, but if you're in like a really like dark elevator or a lift or whatever, I could just imagine like just chilling with this song in the background. It's perfect. It's a lot lighter than the other songs, but the chorus is still powerful. This is how it's gonna end. Yeah, this was definitely made like the last track, well, except the next one, the last like song on purpose, because this is how it's gonna end. But yeah, the pianos and things like that, you know, the light keyboard work, really makes it like unique. It's a unique song. I like it. It doesn't seem to be as popular as the others though. So there. And the final track, 13, is Outro. So we get the same except that this time the drums kick in and we get a really like awesome guitar solo. And yeah, it's just a shame this song is so short though. But yeah, it's another instrumental, and the guitar solo goes out, and then the guitars just kind of turn into kind of like, I don't know what you would say, just weird like distortion, static, weird noises. Gets really creepy. So the first time you listen to it, it definitely can unnerve you. The very first time. And you know the lady on the intercom, you can hear her like talking. She's meant to be like a flight attendant, obviously, to reference the themes of it. And then you can hear like weird violins, like creepy horror violins, like and like it just ends there, and then you get the sound of the door slamming again, like on the intro, and then the album ends. That's a really creative way to end the album, because it actually like it's like bookshelfing it, you know, like intro is like the start of the bookshelf, outro is like the end of the bookshelf. Really creative decisions. But anyway, that was Phobia. What do I think about it? Okay, so as much praise as I've given to the album, I don't like it as much as the first two. Now let me explain. Is this album a disappointment? Hell no. And I'm really happy that it exists, because it gave us some of the band's most iconic songs, and it was like a turning point in their career to go from kind of like fun, heavy, kind of like rock, slightly new metal, more post-grunge sounding, to this more angst-filled, serious, moody kind of music, and it's nothing wrong with that at all, and it really helped the band. However, I do find myself enjoying Saturate and We Are Not Alone a lot more, just because they're more my kind of vibe. There's more sort of laid back kind of songs that you can like headbang to and just enjoy. I'd say even dance to, but this album has a much more serious vibe to it, which is like completely fine, but it's not always the mood, I guess, I want to. And also they kind of neglect the raw production on the first two albums for this more digitally like mixed sound, and it's not bad at all, but yeah, that's the only things I miss. But this is kind of a hot take, guys, but it's my least favourite Breaking Benjamin album from the 2000s, so the first four albums, only just because I don't listen to it as much as the others. Dear Agony is amazing, but we're going to get to that next time. I do want to release it this month. But yeah, Phobia is still a brilliant album. It's still like an 8 out of 10 release. Because I would say Saturate is like a 9 out of 10, 9.5. We Are Not Alone is like an 8.5, I'd say. And this is just a solid 8 out of 10 album, in my opinion. So yeah. But yeah, that's still really good though, and it's still a great release, and I'm really happy that like it introduced so many more people to the band. And before I end the album, I want to say, I feel like the albums in particular, because we are going on 30 minutes now, you know, we are going on 30 minutes, but this album definitely has the vibe of like overcast weather, maybe like autumn slash fall, um, or maybe like rainy weather. Okay, maybe not as much rain, but yeah, just that kind of season, like grey sky, overcast, miserable kind of weather. While Saturate makes me think of spring and summer, and We Are Not Alone makes me think of winter, so this one is naturally autumn slash fall. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, but But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I didn't think the video was going to be this long, but if you did manage to stick around, I appreciate it. So yeah, my next review is going to be Dear Agony. I've got a lot to say about that one. It's going to be very emotional, I can already tell. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review of Phobia, whether you watched the whole thing or just played it in the background. I appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed me discussing my love of music. So that's pretty much it. I will see you in the next video where I take a look at Dear Agony. Thanks for watching, guys. Thierry Rocks out. Peace.